The second one says, reveal more successful tricks than the player to your right. That's my left. Hello everyone, welcome back to Foster the Meeple, a channel all about board games and surfing. Was that lame? No, it wasn't. It was totally tubular, my dudes, okay? There's gonna be probably many surf jokes throughout this video because I can't help myself. Today's video, my friends, is going to be a how to play on the perfect wave from the Op. This video has been sponsored by the Op, so thank you to the Op for sponsoring this video. Now, the perfect wave, Surf Your Way to Greatness, is a board game about surfing. I don't know if the cover gave it away, but in case it didn't and you weren't sure, you heard it here first. So we are going to dive into how to play this game. So let's jump on down to the table and I will show you how to cowabunga and do flippity-doos on your board in the ocean. Salt hair, don't care. Can you tell that I've never surfed in my life? You probably could. You probably could. To start, you are going to give every player a player board. Now, I will be setting up just one player board just to save space. Obviously, you're just going to set this up as you would for however many players you have. So each player gets a player board. They also get 2 wax tokens, 1 surfer token that's going to go under the first space on the player board, and they're also going to get 1 reference card, and that reference card is double-sided. Next, we are going to place the Pier board, and the Pier board is just going to go within reach of all of the players, so you can place it right above or in the middle or wherever makes sense for you. Next, we are going to be setting up the maneuver deck. Now, depending on your player count, you are going to potentially be removing some paddle out cards as well as some trick cards. The amount that you are going to be removing from the game depends on your player count. As an example, in a 2-player game, you will remove 24 trick cards and 12 paddle out cards. And you can just put those right back in the box. Bye! Then you're going to shuffle the remaining paddle out cards as well as trick cards together in one pile. And then we're going to fill up the Pier board with 4 cards. And you can place the remaining deck next to the board. Now you're going to give each player 2 face down trick cards. Then we're going to take the wave cards and you're going to deal 2 of those to each player face down. And then, just like we did with the maneuver deck, we are going to set up the waves on the Pier board. Next up, we have goal cards. So you're going to shuffle the goal cards and then you're going to give 2 face down to each player. Then we are going to reveal 4 at random, placing them next to the Pier board. The goals that are face up for everyone are known as public goals. The ones that you have face down are your personal private goals. Place out a supply of wax tokens within reach of everyone, and then you're also going to place out 2 surfboard tokens, and those can go close to the goal cards. Finally, you will choose who the first player is based on who most recently went to the beach, and they are going to get a totally tubular first player token. What are other surf lingos? Totally tubular is literally the only thing that's coming to my mind. And that's the setup. So players can now look at all of the cards that they have been dealt during setup. You get to check out your personal goals, the wave cards that you start with, as well as the trick cards. So let's quickly talk about placement rules. Now, a wave card has to be placed on a wave card slot on your player board, which is all of these darkened areas. When you place a wave card, let's say we were playing this 5, you are going to place it face down on your board. The wave card can go above your surfer or to any of the spots to the right. Let's just say our surfer was here. then we would not be able to place our wave card here. We would have to place it above the surfer or to any of the spaces to the right. Just like with our wave cards, a trick card needs to be placed face down, and it has to be placed either above your surfer or somewhere to the right. Now, you don't need a wave card underneath the trick card in order to play it. However, in order to score that trick card by the end of the game, it will need to have a wave card under it. So make sure that if you want to score your trick cards, that you are playing wave cards underneath them. The perfect wave is played over a series of rounds until one thing happens that is going to trigger the end of the game, and that is the maneuver deck is going to be completely emptied. Once that happens, you are going to finish the current round ensuring that everyone has had equal turns. During a player's turn, they have 2 available action points to spend. They can spend those action points however they like, doing the same action multiple times, or doing one and then another, whatever it may be. So the actions that a player has available to them are take a card. Now a player can take a wave card. They can either take one directly from the Pier board or from the top of the deck. When you take a card, you have 2 options. You can either, let's say I take this one, you can either take the card and immediately place it on your player board face down, or you can take the card and put it into your hand. You can either do that with wave cards or you can do that with maneuver cards. And the same thing goes. You can either take a trick or a paddle out card from the Pier board and play it face down above your player board, or you can take that card and place it into your hand to use at a later time. If the card that you take from the maneuver row is a paddle out card, you can immediately play that by discarding it to the maneuver discard and moving your surfer 1 space. Don't have a paddle out card available to you? Not a problem. You can spend a wax token in order to move your surfer 1 space along your player board. You can also spend a wax token in order to take a discarded card from the wave deck. So as the game goes on, you are going to have a bunch of wave cards that have been discarded. This is public knowledge to everyone. You can look at it throughout the game. So if you decide to take this action, you can go through all of the discarded wave cards and choose whichever one that you like. And you can then take that card and either place it face down on your player board or take it into your hand. All of those actions cost 1 action point. There's also 2 actions that cost your whole 2 action points. First of those actions is to gain a wax seal. You only start with 2, so if you spend them, then you're probably going to want more. So you can spend 2 action points to gain a wax seal from the supply. You can also spend 2 action points to take one of the 2 surfboards and activate one of the 4 public goals. Now the same player can do this 2 times. Each player can do it once. Maybe none of them get activated, totally up to you. But if you see one of the public goals that you think that you are going to be able to achieve, then you place the surfboard underneath it. Then at the end of the game, you will check to see whether or not anybody has achieved that goal, but we'll get to that at end of game scoring. There is one final action that you can do that costs no action points, which you love to see. We love a good freebie. So what you can do is you can spend one of your wax tokens back to the supply, and you can wipe all of the wave cards. So if we did that, wipe them, and then you get to reveal all new cards. At the end of each round, which is when 2 players have concluded their turns, there is one thing that you need to do, and that is to remove the rightmost wave and maneuver card. This is how we are going to be able to cycle through the maneuver deck. Move all cards to the right and reveal a new card. So those are all of the actions that are available to you, and I know what you're thinking. But why? What's the point? What are we trying to do here? That's a great question. What we're trying to do here is you're trying to build out the best, the raddest, the most tubular wave possible. And how you do that is you are trying to grow a wave from small to large. Now, if you look here at the examples of the cards that we have out on the board, you'll notice that the 5 wave is smaller than the 8, which is smaller than the 12. The cards range from 1 to 12. You do not need to start at 1. You do not need to end at 12. What you're trying to do is lay out wave cards so that your wave is gradually growing. Because what we are going to be doing at the end of the game is you are going to be scoring your wave. So all of the information is going to be private until we get to end scoring. Once again, end scoring is going to happen when the maneuver deck runs out. So let's set up a little scenario so you can see how scoring works. Now, at the end of game for scoring, there are going to be 6 different things that we score. The first is based on our wave, so wave card victory points. Then we're also going to be looking for sets and runs within our waves, and we're going to be scoring those. We're also going to be scoring for our trick cards, our private goals, and our public goals. So let's take a look and see how each one of those works. Now, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to remove any trick cards that don't have a wave card underneath them. So this one, unfortunately, is gone. Then we are going to reveal our cards and make sure that our surfer can catch a wave. Check and see where our surfer token is, and we are going to reveal the wave above the surfer. Now, if by chance your surfer didn't have a wave above them, you would move them to the left until they did have one above them. But in our case, we did have one. So that does mean that our surfer didn't quite make it to the end, which means these cards here are not part of our wave, and neither is that trick. So we will reveal the card that is above our surfer. And then we're going to start moving our surfer to the left because it's time to ride that sweet, sweet wave all the way back to the beach. Okay, so you're going to move your surfer 1 space to the left and reveal. You're going to continue doing that until you either get to the beach or potentially you run into a card that doesn't really make sense. However, I obviously played this game really well, and I've rode my way all to the beach, which I love. So to score your wave, you are going to take the number that is shown above each revealed wave, and you are going to add those together to go towards your final score. So as an example here, we have 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 100 points to start. Now what we're going to do is look for sets and or runs of numbers within our wave. A set is considered of numbers that are the same with 3 or more cards. So we have 4 2s, that is considered a set. If we only had 2 2s, not a set, anything 3 and above. Because we have 4 of a kind in a set, that is going to score us 50 points. So very important to get some sets and some runs. So we don't actually have any runs within our set. However, if I was able to have completed more of my wave and I had the 6 revealed, we would have a run. So very similar to sets, a run is cards 3 or more that are consecutive numbers. So next we are going to be scoring for our revealed tricks. So we have currently 4 tricks that are above our completed wave. So what you're going to do is read whatever it says. As an example, this one says, if you reveal the most snap trick cards, you get 40 points. I have 2 in my fantasy world and nobody else has any, so I get 40 points. Ha! All you're gonna do is read it and see if you've met the condition. If you do, you score the points. Next, we are going to be scoring for our private goals. So remember, at the beginning of the game, we have been dealt 2 private goals. So you're going to, very similarly to trick cards, read what it says. If you have met all of the requirements, you will score those points. As an example, this one says, reveal a wave at least 5 cards long with all even numbers. So by looking at our wave here, well, I didn't meet that one. Pretty close. If this was a 6, we'd be all set, but I didn't, so I wouldn't score the 50 points. The second one says, reveal at least 1 successful trick above a set of 10s. Well, I didn't do that either. Obviously, I didn't look at those goals before playing this game. Oops. Finally, we are going to score for our public goals. Now, as you can see, we ended up having 2 public goals activated, so we are only scoring for the ones that have a surfboard underneath them. The first one says, reveal a wave at least 5 cards long with all odd numbers. So we didn't get that. Maybe somebody else did, but it wasn't us. Reveal more successful tricks than the player to your right. Now, obviously, my fantasy second player here, they have no tricks, so I get that. So that would be another 50 points. So you tally up all of the points that you have received from your wave, your sets, your runs, your tricks, your goals, and whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins. And that is how you play the perfect wave. Now, if you're interested in this game, please make sure to check the description below, which will have all of the necessary links that will help you find it. I would love to know if you have played it, if you're interested in playing it, all of that good stuff. Please tell me in the comments. Also, if you could also tell me in the comments, what are some common surfer phrases that aren't totally tubular? I think that would be really helpful for me playing this game. Hang 10. Is that it, or is that skateboarding? I don't know. I really don't know. Now, if you're interested in buying board games like The Perfect Wave, the first place that you should look is your friendly local gaming store. For us, that is the Boardroom Game Cafe. If you like snacks, why not check out Munch Pack? You get snacks from around the world. Surfers love snacks. They need them for energy and stuff. Thank you for watching. If you like what you see, please subscribe. We hope to see you again soon. And now I say goodbye. Bye! Let's see. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. This way, that way, this way, that way. Nobody knows. This thing is freaking amazing. Okay. Finally, you are going to determine who the Good golly. Okay? That's surfing. I don't know.